My name is Tanae, and I'm the founder of FreeCap. We're building a tool to help your financial advisor manage your investment portfolio through a racial equity lens. The US is at an inflection point. Will we continue to let our legacy of racism define us, or are we serious about dismantling it? I started FreeCap because we can't have a conversation about racial equity without talking about mass incarceration. There's a reason it's called the new Jim Crow. In my small hometown in rural Florida, some of the smartest people I know went to prison instead of college, including my little brother. I've spent the past decade researching the structural systems that fuel racial inequity. As a Black woman, I have lived it daily. And as an impact investor, I have dedicated my career to solving it. There are 2.3 million people behind bars in the US, and there's a whole network of companies that have a financial incentive to keep them there. It's not just private prison operators. It's also household names in your 401k, like Tyson Food and 3M, that use prison labor in their supply chains and pay on average less than $1 an hour to those workers. We know of at least 4,000 companies who have benefited from these injustices. And as of now, there's no way to systematically identify those companies or monitor the risk they pose to investor portfolios. On the flip side, there are some companies that are prioritizing social justice. Some are working to create quality job opportunities for people returning home from prison, and we need a way to identify those leaders too. This is why I created FreeCap. We capture information from a wide variety of sources and translate it into investable insights. We are a data provider of socially responsible investing criteria. We're creating ratings and data sets to license to financial advisors, asset managers, insurance companies, pension funds, basically anyone who manages money. Our first product line will help investors divest from prisons and invest in companies with solutions to mass incarceration. The market opportunity for environmental, social, and governance data, also commonly referred to as ESG, is growing rapidly and will be a $1 billion industry by 2022. Unfortunately, social justice data sets are still underrepresented, and none of our competitors cover mass incarceration. Our funding and research partnerships with Halcyon, Echoing Green, Tufts, Georgetown have gotten us close to an MVP. We're now raising $1.5 million to bring our product to market. We have a soft circle of $500,000 and are looking for additional funders. With this investment, we will be able to capture data, automate ratings for over 3,000 companies. We plan to pilot our product this fall with a handful of strategic partners before fully launching with complete coverage of the S&P 500 in early 2021. Our team of investment managers and research analysts are really excited to make this happen. The COVID-19 pandemic and Black Lives Matter movement have proven that the way companies treat their communities, workers, and consumers are mission critical to success. As public opinion shifts, the prison industrial complex is an increasingly risky investment. Our strategy will benefit investors, and more importantly, starve the prison industrial complex and take a giant leap forward in ending mass incarceration. If we're serious about racial justice, holding companies accountable must be part of the solution. FreeCap is here to make that happen. Thank you.
Oh, hi there. This device on my wrist made history in 2017 by guiding the first blind runner in the New York City Marathon completely untethered. My name is Kevin Yu, co-founder of WearWorks. But the name of the man who will go down in history is Simon Wheatcroft. He's a father, a coder, a professional runner, and he happens to be blind. For Simon and millions of people in the world, it's a daily challenge to get around due to his visual impairment. At WearWorks, we build products and experiences that communicate information through touch. And this is called haptics. Haptic means all we're relating to the sense of touch. And we're using the skin as a communication channel to deliver information in a more intuitive and less intrusive way. And we started with the use of navigation. Navigation is inherently visual, and visual-based navigation isn't always safe. Sometimes it's not sensible. And for 285 million of us worldwide, it's not possible. So, we invented the Wayband, a wristband that gently guides you to your end destination using vibrations. Wayband is simple. You connect to your Wayband app, you speak where you want to go, and you put your phone away. Our virtual corridor, which are haptic walls, gently guides you to your end destination without any need of visual or audio cues. And when you're in the corridor, you feel no vibration. And when you get to the edges of the corridor, you get a slight vibration, and that vibration gets stronger the longer you are. We've tested this with thousands of people, and this isn't just a buzz means turn left. It's a 360-degree haptic experience that's so intuitive that 90% of first-time users can figure it out right away, within 10 seconds without any instructions. Now, we have our US patents issued and our international patents filed. The market we're starting with are the 21 million people who are blind or visually impaired in the United States. We believe we can capture 25% of that market, representing a $1 billion opportunity because our product's unique offering and our strategic partnerships. And we're already on track for our 2020 goal. We have 3,000 units committals, and 50% of our organic traffic are people who have no visual impairments. We haven't even started talking to the sighted community yet. They already understand the value of what we're bringing. A device costs $60 to manufacture and $249 in retail. The device is backed by hundreds of hours of research. We've talked to people about their challenges around navigation, fear, frustration, and anxiety. We created the Wayband to be simple, but most importantly, it gave back people the sense of freedom, autonomy, and independence. Our foundational partners are domain experts in the space of scientific research, mobility, and scaling startups. And our marathon feat garnished us a lot of press, including German Design Award, Discovery Channel documentary, TED Talk, and a 2-year exhibition at the Cooper Hewitt Design Museum. And we've used that press as a lever to create some of the best partnerships with organizations who serve people who are blind, technology partners who provide products and services for them as well. Our packaging is done through the Blind Industries of Services of Maryland. Employing 200 people who are blind or visually impaired, we aim to hire and support jobs, opportunities for all. Our team is remarkable. My co-founder Keith built a suit that allows you to download Kung Fu and teaches you using vibrations. And me, I got into this world through 7 years of haptic exploration and recognition through international awards for design. Our support team is just as strong. Our newest hire, Jim, with 20 years plus of back-end experience, he is also legally blind. Wayband was optimized for the blind experience, but is built for everyone. We're already following requests from runners, cyclists, snowboarders, kayakers, hikers, and golfers who want to use adaptations of our technology. Working with the blind and visually impaired is just the beginning of our journey, and we would love to have you along for the run. We're raising $650,000. 92% of that is already committed. All of our partners are strategic, and we've raised additional $315,000 on non-dilutive funding. Now, we're looking to oversubscribe our round for the right partners as well. Thank you so much for keeping in touch.
Our democracy is facing an existential crisis right now. I'm Maria Ewan, founder of Issuevoter, and I'm excited to share with you how Issuevoter is playing a part in solving this crisis and invite you to join us. I'm committed to a democracy that works for all of us because my dad fled communist China. Growing up in the United States, my parents always voted and taught me the value of civic duty at a young age. Voting is one of our most fundamental rights. Inspired by my parents, I went to manage a campaign in Iowa and realized voters had a key question. Is my rep actually representing me? It was so frustrating that there was, frankly, no easy way to know what happens between elections when the real work that affects our lives gets done. Take a moment to think about an issue you care about. Is it the future of our planet? Is it racial justice? Is it about our healthcare system? We are a nation built on laws, so policy change is what creates the lasting, sustainable, better future that we envision. But did you know? Over 10,000 bills are introduced each session of Congress. Approximately 1,000 of them are voted on. How many new bills have you heard about? 1? 5? If it's 5, you've missed 995 bills. And right now, there are more than 600 COVID-related bills in Congress. It is more important than ever to give all Americans access to succinct, powerful information so that they can make their voices heard during this unprecedented time and help shape the new world we will all be facing. That's why I founded IssueVoter, a nonpartisan online platform. We focus on federal legislation for people like you across all 50 states and DC. And here's how it works. First, you choose the issues that you care about. Then, receive alerts before Congress votes, highlighting legislation you probably haven't heard about on the media. IssueVoter translates bills into layman's terms with points from both sides. We send your opinion directly to your senators and reps' offices with one click. It's not a poll to sell your data. It's not a petition to be ignored by Congress. Finally, we track how often your reps vote your way, helping you hold them accountable and be a more informed voter at the next election. Before November, it is time to educate yourself and your community about the issues closest to your heart. Right now, all 435 congressional districts are already using IssueVoter. We've sent over 2 million alerts to people and opinions back to Congress, and 30% of people who use IssueVoter cited IssueVoter as the reason they voted. So we are able to increase voter turnout from people who wouldn't have voted in the first place. And 59% took additional forms of civic action, and 94% learned about new issues. Before IssueVoter, this might take 20 hours of your own research. Now, it takes 30 seconds. I hope you're thinking, this is great, but how can I get involved? Well, it's easy. You're on your computer or phone right now. Open a browser to issuevoter.org, and just by the simple act of signing up, you are part of a movement. To increase the impact of our movement, we need funding and connections. You're already on the website, so please take the next step and make a recurring donation. You can help make IssueVoter a household name, because giving people a voice is worth it, accountability and transparency are worth it, and the health of our democracy is worth it. We've worked with national and local organizations, companies, universities, and people with a large following, and are looking for more connections like these in order to make everyone's voices heard. We exist for you, your family, your friends, your communities, and together, our country. The urgency of what we have to get done to save our democracy is here. So I look forward to connecting with you soon. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Tayo. I'm a technology education entrepreneur and the chief executive of Utiva. I have been in the education industry as a product manager for 6 years and as an entrepreneur for 2 years. I started Utiva in 2017 when I decided to move back to Nigeria to be a part of the change. I wanted to solve the problem of unemployment that I personally experienced for 2 years. This is one of the things I want you to think about. Just in 2019, last year, 3.3 million entry-level jobs were unfilled, yet Africa as a continent has an unemployment rate that is as high as 24%. And to solve this problem, we had to solve 3 major customers' needs. Firstly, we want young people to learn premium technology skills with less dependence on internet, because for an African, it costs 4 times more to access good internet for learning. We launched a product called the Nucleus. It's an encrypted device with more than 40 well-structured and pre-installed learning content. Now, with less reliance on internet, people can actually access learning and premium technology skill training. The second approach is to make learning easy and collaborative, fun, and interactive through our instructor-led live classes. And lastly, we work directly with technology companies to create challenges as projects and business cases so that our students can work on them in a virtual environment, what we call the virtual internship, VirtInternship. Within 2 years, we built 7 large digital schools, from data to product to design to AI cybersecurity. We established a market presence in 9 cities. We trained over 5,000 young people and achieved 65% consistent transition rates with a faculty of 200 trainers that are working with us. Today, with just $80, a young person from any location can pay for the nucleus and get the device within 24 hours. And it's pay as you learn. We are unique because we have figured out a distribution model, the content creation approach, the technology which is encrypted with our learning content. Our team is led by a director of sales and growth with more than 4 years experience in the B2C sales, and a director of academy with over 5 years experience in educational programming and curriculum design. Then a technology lead with a 2-time entrepreneur, an artificial intelligence and a data engineer. And myself, I have a master's degree in business strategy with 5 years experience in product management in the edtech space. Today, we are on track to reaching 50,000 young people before the end of 2021 with a revenue projection of $4.4 million and a presence in 5 African countries before the end of 2022. So this is my major ask. We want you to help us connect to every international development company that is out there, investors that are playing in the education space. Now, this is my big appreciation to Halcyon for this opportunity, and thank you so much also for listening to me. I will be in the breakout room looking forward to sharing what we are building for the African markets.
Hi, I'm Kat Kelly and I co-founded Good Morning because my grandparents can't order grocery delivery without having the internet installed.
I'm Brendan Lucas, and I co-founded Good Morning because my grandma is afraid of having another stroke.
I'm Matthias Lightstone, and I co-founded Good Morning because my mom calls my grandpa every day, and she worries that that's not enough.
These stories aren't just our own. They're the stories of the older adults in your life too. According to Time magazine, 1 in 3 seniors was lonely in 2019. It's one of the many heartbreaking stats that inspired us to start Win-Win Home Sharing. Our startup tackled senior isolation by pairing them with students who help around the house in exchange for a reduced rent. And although COVID-19 has put a pause on our home sharing operations, it hasn't separated us from our mission to help seniors living in isolation. Whether seniors live in long-term care facilities or in their own homes, COVID-19 threatens not only the lives of older adults, but also their emotional health. The good news is that we can reduce senior isolation in 3 ways. Use technology to connect with others, work better to integrate seniors into our communities, and give better access to transportation and services. That's where we come in. In an effort to stay connected, Good Morning sends a daily interactive message to check in on the safety and well-being of participants. It's friendly, accessible through landline telephones, and helps with the anxiety of living alone. Let's see how it works. Marian is 76 and lives alone, though her daughter lives only 20 minutes away. She's never needed the internet and never cared to have it. She loves her home and doesn't want to move anytime soon, but she often fears she'll slip and fall without anybody nearby to help. Although her daughter suggests getting a Like Alert pendant, she doesn't want a wearable device because she is not an old person. She's active, independent, and loves to have fun. If Marian changed her mind today and wanted the internet installed to connect with her family, or a Life Alert pendant to help with her anxiety, she wouldn't be able to get either, since in-person installations are impossible at the moment. Instead, Marian signed up to Good Morning. She gets a call at 8 a.m. every morning to see how she's doing. Marian knows that if she doesn't answer her call or check in on her own, or say she's feeling well. Good Morning will notify her daughter and neighbors to check in on her. Our calls reduce isolation. By leveraging cloud technology and voice recognition, we're able to provide a reliable calling service, which is affordable and requires no in-person installation. Our calls are more than daily check-ins. We are adding features like medication reminders, community center activities, public announcements, and more. Our calls will be the gateway for seniors to access the same essential services they would find online. And with over 20 million American seniors without access to the internet, we will use our technology to offer Uber Eats, grocery delivery, transportation arrangements, and more. If you have suggestions, come meet us in our breakout room. Let's look at some numbers. Every day, 1 million people are served by senior community centers. Over 25,000 businesses provide services to the elderly in the United States. But this doesn't include apartment buildings, support groups, or nursing facilities. We save on marketing costs by adopting a B2B model, but we also distinguish ourselves by doing so. We offer our services to trusted brands and businesses which work directly to consumer, like community centers, apartment buildings, personal care companies, among many others. For users and their families, it means relief from anxiety and increased connectivity. For businesses and community centers, it means easy to track data, customizable user journeys, and reliable calling system for a fraction of the cost of our market competitors. Join our breakout room to hear about our user trials, competitors in this space, and our pricing breakdown. If you're hearing this pitch and thinking of someone in your life who could use a daily call, here's some good news. We're offering it for free for the months of June and July. You can sign up in the link in the chat. We're also looking for advisors who have experience securing contracts serving local, state, and federal governments. If that sounds like you, please book a meeting with us through our calendar link. And lastly, we hope this is a reminder to stay in touch with the seniors in your life. Although we can't be nearby, we can always be there.
One in 5 Americans have depression, yet out of that group, only 20% get help, despite the increasing need for mental health support with the challenges we are facing today. Asking for help with your mental health is difficult, and I would know, because that is my story. Hi, I'm Kavi, the CEO and founder of Rose Smarter Mental Health. In my previous life, I was working 80 to 100 hours a week in the finance industry. I finally burned out and I broke down. At that point, I experienced mental health care for the first time, and I realized then that the system can transform our health, but it is in dire need of help to adequately provide care to patients. From burning out to building up, I am here to ask you to join me in transforming our mental health care system with Rose. Rose is an interactive and real-time platform powered by machine learning, which was developed and clinically tested with Johns Hopkins experts. Therapists and psychiatrists direct their patients to our Rose mobile platform, which, by the way, is covered by insurance. Patients are empowered to communicate with their provider in and between therapy sessions, whenever and wherever they are, through our suite of solutions like telemedicine, journaling, and curated content for self-care. Rose supports patients with instant, individualized feedback and a patient-centered experience. Simultaneously, Rose paints a clear clinical picture for clinicians, empowering them with data to answer hard-to-answer questions like, do you feel like harming yourself or others? Now let's talk proof of concept and validation. We completed a 5-week Phase 1 IRB clinical study, which showed that 73% of patients using Rose improved from severe depression to mild or moderate compared to patients not using Rose. Further, 79% of patients used Rose every single day for that 5 weeks. For my data lovers, imagine the abundance of info clinicians can now use to help us. If 73% improvement isn't enough of an incentive, clinicians can increase their revenue by an estimated $1,500 per patient per year by using Rose based on insurance incentives. In addition to our close medical and research partnership with Johns Hopkins, Rose became a portfolio company of Startup Health, We recently won a government enterprise contract with an organization in the city of Baltimore to build their tech infrastructure to support senior citizens with their mental health and social isolation needs. Our company has grown rapidly, about 1,100% over the past 8 weeks. Further, we have raised $350,000 over the past few months. We now have 230 clinicians using the platform. We have 6 paid pilots in the works with large institutions like Johns Hopkins, Mercer Medicine, and Brigham and Women's Hospital. And as a result of the uptick in demand, we are raising a $1.5 million round to build out the infrastructure needed for our exponential growth. As a society, mental health care is gaining increasing focus and importance, but we still have more work to do. Imagine all the sad endings we could have prevented if mental health care was accessible and effective. Rose is finally here to be an ally, but we need your help. Join us in enabling smarter mental health and learning more about how we can transform mental health for the 50 million Americans that aren't getting the mental health care they need, but can with Rose. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sarah.
And I'm Sam.
And we're the founders of Tables Without Borders, a nonprofit dedicated to helping refugees rebuild their lives through paid internships in U.S. restaurants. Unfortunately, the odds are stacked against refugees from the moment they arrive into their host country. Studies show that after 5 years of living in the U.S., 67% of refugees live in low-income households. We had a really exciting vision to solve this problem. Our internship program provided 9 weeks of paid culinary training to newly arriving refugees, helping them build their skills in order to secure a job in the food industry. Here's Najat, a former Tables Without Borders chef who interned at Michelin star restaurant Maidan, right here in DC. This experience gave Najat the skills and exposure he needed to secure multiple job offers after his internship.
So I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is this model works. We paired our chefs with DC's best restaurants, placed 80% of our employment-seeking interns into jobs, and we're finalizing a partnership with Hilton Hotels. The bad news is there's a global pandemic. And as you know, it has brought the restaurant industry to a near halt, which brought our programs to a halt too. But we're here to tell you that today, Tables Without Borders is stronger than ever before.
When we were forced to cancel our internships because of COVID-19, we needed to find a way to support our chefs and our community. After all, we didn't get this fellowship just to hang out in a house in Georgetown. So we took to the community for help, and they responded. In a matter of 3 weeks, we were able to raise $26,000 to help our chefs prepare meals for the community. In a matter of 2 months, our chefs were hard at work preparing meals for homeless shelters, healthcare workers, and vulnerable members in our community. I'm excited to announce that to date, we have prepared over 3,000 meals, with more in the works.
Along the way, we received dozens of messages from hungry people who wanted to order our chefs' food. So, we partnered with fast casual restaurant Immigrant Food to bring our chefs' recipes to their menu, and we get a portion of each sale. Our first menu item has been a huge success. Our Iranian chef's meal has been the restaurant's top-selling item and has allowed us to reach new customers from across the DC area. In the months ahead, we're looking to take this concept to fast casual restaurants with scale and to expand on this new source of revenue.
And now, as restaurants begin to open back up, we are relaunching our signature program, the Tables Without Borders internship. Each internship culminates in a dinner led by the refugee chef. They offer a menu created during the internship, and we receive a percentage of the sales. Dinners like these have always driven sales and attracted new first-time customers to these restaurants. By making our dinners available for carryout and delivery, we envision them being a way for restaurants to get back on their feet.
Tables Without Borders is a nonprofit with a few revenue streams built into its model. While the cost of one internship is $5,000, we receive $2,000 in return from dinner revenues and donations from diners. As a result, it costs just $3,000 to sponsor a 9-week internship.
We're looking to build relationships to organizations and individuals looking to have a lasting impact on our newest neighbors. If you or your organization is interested in sponsoring a Tables Without Borders internship, please reach out. And if you're feeling hungry, oh wow, order our Tables Without Borders immigrant food bowl on their website. Better yet, donate it to those that need it most by clicking the Plate It Forward option. Tables Without Borders exists to help those in our community who are emerging refugee chefs rebuild their lives through the power of food. We hope you'll join us on this delicious journey.
Bon appetit!
Good afternoon. I'm Marcus Bullock, the CEO and founder of Flickshop. This picture was taken when I was 15 years old and just weeks before I made the worst mistake of my life and decided to steal a car from a man. That decision landed me in front of a judge with my mom and my sister standing just a few feet behind me as they listened to me get sentenced to 8 years in adult maximum security prisons. As you can imagine, this was the hardest time of our lives, and after 2 years into my sentence, my mom sensed my depression and made a promise in the prison visiting room. She promised to write me a letter or send me a photo every day from that day forward until I came home 6 years later. You see, in prison, there's no Facebook, no Instagram or easy emailing, no text messaging. This means that the billions of dollars that are being spent to deliver the fragmented, expensive communication systems to the world's prison populations are resulting in high recidivism rates and broken families. This is a big problem. See, most never knew that the space that we are working to reform and repair is so massive. In fact, if we hit our North Star, we will dismantle this predatory system and help keep millions of people connected to their community every day for $1 each. That's why we created Flickshop. Our app allows our users the ability to take a photo, add a quick message, press send, and for 99 cents, we print and ship that photo and message on a real tangible postcard that is shipped to any person in any cell anywhere in the US. In fact, you can use the QR code on your screen to download Flickshop right now and send your first postcard for free to anyone with an address while we're all locked inside for COVID-19. They don't have to be incarcerated, but imagine their faces when they see your selfie appear in the mailbox. We've already shipped over 500,000 postcards, launched Flickshop Angels, which allows the community to get involved and purchase Flickshop credits that we give to children with incarcerated parents. And finally, we are proud to release the Flickshop Enterprise platform, which allows businesses, law firms, nonprofits, and government agencies the ability to leverage our data and AI to send automated, data-driven campaigns to thousands of people in prisons around the country every month. One enterprise customer has shipped postcards to incarcerated people to help them understand their voting rights while pretrial. Another wanted to help provide information about employment prior to release. This is real impact. We've generated $250,000 over the last year in revenue, and our enterprise app will help us go from $8,000 monthly recurring revenue to $30,000 monthly recurring revenue over the next 12 months. This is a massive market filled with government agencies and companies that send job notices to people prior to release while also helping families stay connected to each other like my mom and I. Our competitors continue to validate our market demand while we find ways to differentiate by leveraging our data and AI. We've also built a rockstar team that continues to accelerate our growth. And this is why we're raising our seed round. We'll continue to build our enterprise app and help connect some of the country's businesses and organizations that are building their social impact with this population. And while we've continued to grow organically, our marketing dollars will help grow and throw some gas on that growth fire. So if you would like to learn how you can invest in this round with Flickshop, or would like to learn about ways that you could become a Flickshop angel and help children with incarcerated parents, come join us in our breakout room. If you would like to invite me to your next corporate event or board meeting to share in a moment of empathy and have your team members understand why this work is so important, I'm excited to talk to you as well. Thank you again for helping us keep families connected and reduce recidivism.